Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Talk Tottenham here with your host Tom. Doing actually my first pre-match video in quite some time. But guys, I'm back. Gonna be doing a pre-match video of Friday night's big Premier League match away at the City Ground against Nottingham Forest. On Friday night, we go first in the next round of Premiership games, and it's a big one, guys. It's a big game. I said in the last video, which in the post match against Newcastle, I said the Newcastle game will only be a good result if we follow it up with a win on Friday against Forest, and still stand by that. It's a big game. It's not going to be easy though. Forest, despite their wretched form, it's still a difficult place to go, and their fans are going to be right at it, and we're going to have to play well, I think, to get the points. But hopefully that game against Newcastle will have given the squad and the players a lot of confidence. Going into the next round of fixtures, which on paper, they look pretty okay. It's a game obviously against Forest on Friday. Then we play at home to Everton, and then away at Brighton, which won't be easy. But after that, I think it's Bournemouth at home and United away. Sandwiched in there somewhere is the game against Burnley in the Cup. But that's not a bad run of games, to be honest. And with players just sort of coming back now, like Sarr and Richarlison that came back in the Newcastle game, hopefully it won't be too long, guys, before we see Maddison and Van de Ven back out with us. I know Eric Dyer is on the injury table as well in the treatment room. But probably Dyer wouldn't be getting a look in anyway, especially with the form of Ben Davies at the moment. It was only after the post-match review that I gave that I thought, I didn't really big up Ben Davies enough in that game. I thought he's been really good actually. Overall this season he's been good, but it's particularly in the last 2 or 3 games he's been really good for Tottenham, and we've needed him. And that clearance in the Newcastle game, I think it was Isak who would have scored. That was so important. That was a really good touch on the ball there by Davies, who comes in for a lot of criticism. But one thing you can't doubt about Ben Davies is how much he loves the club, and I think he gets a lot of unwarranted stick, to be honest, because he's one of those players who's very always ready to throw his body on the line. All right, he hasn't got the ability probably of a Romero or Van de Ven, but what he has got is heart. And I'd be looking to still keep Ben Davies around the squad. I wouldn't be looking at selling him at all. He's a dependable player. So look, we go ahead. We're looking ahead now on Friday. Who else have we got out? Still obviously the big ones like Perisic. We won't see him again. Mana Solomon. Obviously Maddison and Van de Ven, but hopefully the injury record, hopefully it's sort of clearing up a little bit now, and we can move forward a little bit more. Obviously we had Richarlison back, didn't we, in the last one as well, which was really good, and well done Richie for getting those 2 goals. And hopefully I know we've said it quite a few times and they've been false dawns, but I really hope that he can kick on now. And it'll be interesting to see if Ange sticks with the similar team to the game, to the same lineup that we played against Newcastle, or whether or not he'll tinker and make some changes. But obviously in the sticks, Big Vic will keep his place. I did see in the press that Fraser Forster has signed a new deal, which was interesting. I think he signed a 1-year contract extension. But I don't think... we did see Forster, didn't we, at Fulham in the Carling Cup where we basically threw that game away, um, just because of the lineup. But it does make you wonder sometimes, doesn't it? You know what Hugo Lloris must be thinking and even doing, because he's obviously still training with the club with the club. But it must feel weird, after for 10 years of basically playing near enough every single game for the club to literally not even being there on match day. I'd imagine it would be quite unbelievable. I did see a newspaper report linking him with Newcastle, believe it or not, actually, because obviously Newcastle have got a goalkeeping crisis at the moment. So it would be interesting to see Lloris make the move up there. It's actually a move that I could see happening, to be honest, because is he a free transfer? I'm sure he must be a free transfer now. So yeah, Vicario to play in goal. Right back is, for me, our most improved player this season, and probably that's probably when I used to hear the award for most improved player at the end of the season, I used to kind of grimace, because I don't think it's fair, to be honest, to say he's our most improved player. For me, Porro's probably been our best player this season. Most of the games have been 8 out of 10s, and he's been so consistent. And that pass for Richarlison's second goal in the Newcastle game was sublime. He's got a beautiful, beautiful delivery on him. Those corners, they're whipped in it, and the free kicks, they're always on point. And his defending's improved this season, and I've been so impressed with Porro. I'm so pleased now we've got two really good marauding fullbacks that want to bomb forward. It's just fantastic. Um, so yeah, Porro at right back, Christian Romero will come in at centre back, and yeah, I'll be playing him next to Porro. Look, I said what I said in the last video about Romero, about the fact that I thought that was an outrageous tackle again in the Newcastle game, and I wouldn't have been surprised if that had been a red card. It looked to me fairly similar to the Chelsea challenge, where he's gone over the ball and it's the studs. It looks like force has gone in there. The only saving grace, I think, was that I don't think there was as much force as that tackle on the Chelsea fella, and because of that, and he was kind of sliding down, so I think he's kind of just got away with it. But I'm surprised. Because you just see so many red cards now for similar things, for even softer challenges, to be honest. But yeah, Romero's walking a real fine line at the moment. But that said, I do love him. I'm a big believer in him. I think we're better. We're obviously a better team with him in the team, and on his day, I think he's one of the best defenders in the league. So, Romero has got to just brush up on his discipline, and we really need him firing and putting in a really good display at Forest, because I think there will be parts of that game where we will be a little bit under the cosh. Ben Davies will be partnering him. Like I said, Davis has been really good. He's been good on the ball. I like the forward. I like the fact he was bombing forward and getting forward in that Newcastle game, which was really, really nice to see. And yeah, Davis has been really, really good. Hasn't slipped up. His passing's actually been pretty good. He can play out the back. So yeah, I would go with those two again, and then left back. Destiny Udogi. Destiny, that was a great display against Newcastle. I love it when he moves forward with the ball. He's such a good dribbler, and he's been threatening to score pretty much all season. To be honest, he's been getting into very, very similar positions, but that was really, really advanced for any fullback, wasn't it, to basically be in the 6-yard box. By the way, brilliant cross by Son for that goal, for his first. That was fantastic. And yeah, it's just so great to have a really really good left back, because we've really been short in that department for a hell of a long time, and we've been playing the likes of Emerson there, you know, Sessegnon has been playing there, Perisic has played there. We've never really had anyone playing there. Ben Davies has played there, so now we've actually got a natural fit in that position, and it just gives us so much balance to the team, I think. Into the midfield, I did say this again after the Newcastle game. I thought it was great to see Basuma and Sarr back together again. I'm going to be playing those two again. I thought that was the best that they played together for quite some time. And they've really, they started the season off like an absolute rocket, to be honest. Really complementing each other's style of play. Basuma is that kind of more of a player that gets it off the back four, and then he's the guy normally to feed it out to Kulu or play it into Sarr or Maddison, whereas Sarr seems to have more license to bomb forward and to kind of get more in a more advanced positions, and I think the blend really works. Um, you know, Much better than it does with Sarr and Højbjerg, or I just think that you know it's so true. I saw Ali Gold say it in his video as well, but Højbjerg almost seems better when he comes off the bench. To be honest, his best performances this season when he's been coming on in the last 10 minutes just to shore things up. So I think for me, yeah, Basuma and Sarr in that double pivot on the right. Um, I'm gonna play Brennan Johnson on that right hand side. Switch him over from the left to the right. I know he played in the right in the Newcastle game, and he was great. It was probably the best I think he's played in a Spurs shirt, and it's no surprise when he's on that more natural side for him, being a right footer. He's got pace to burn. He was so unlucky not to score in that game, and Forest will know all about him, and I really want him to take it to them and be a really really good outlet for us. I just think he just looks more threatening on that right hand side, because he seems far more able, I think, he looks more comfortable taking on a man and sort of like really opening up his legs and really going at defenders, whereas on the left he's fine, but it's just so much more cutting back, playing the safe ball back into the midfield. It doesn't really, which is fine. It's fine, not every player is going to be an inverted winger. Some players actually prefer going on the outside, and I think he's one of them. He reminds me a little bit of Lennon, just obviously got a little bit more strength about him than Lennon. In the number 10 or number 8 role, whatever way you want to call it, just behind the striker, I'm going to play Kulu. So yeah, people have been calling for him to start in that role. I was always a little bit unsure. I was thinking that Kulu, he seems to be pretty good on that right hand side. I've changed my mind. I do think that role really suits him in the middle. He seems to really relish getting on the ball. He can play with his back to goal as well, really, really well. And I love it when he just spins off, or he finds pockets of space and just pick the ball up, like 30 or 40 yards away from goal, and he just start running like he did in the Newcastle game. And I think Kulu's really, really great at that. And that's fine. And he might interlink and he might change with Johnson sometimes, or Sonny, but for me, Kulu looks more threatening in that central role. So Kulu in the number 10 role. On the left hand side, I'm going to put Sonny. I'm going to put Sonny out there. I thought he did look really really good out there against Newcastle, and it's a conundrum. Where is Son's best position? Is it through the middle, or is it on the left? If you'd asked me about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have said for sure down the middle. He's a killer of a finisher, absolutely lethal in front of goal. But you know, since that Palace game, it sort of, we saw Sonny sort of the goals dry up a little bit until the last year. Hopefully that penalty against Newcastle, he can go on a bit of a run now. But I think for me, keep him out on that left and get him running at their fullback. And for me, it would be a real shame to take Richarlison out of the team after scoring 2 goals. And let's give him another crack, because we can't keep taking him out of the team if he scored 2 goals. We need more firepower. We're not scoring enough at the moment. Well, actually, we are still scoring goals, but I think we've got more of a chance with Sonny and Richie in the team. So for me, I'm going to play Richarlison up front, and Richie, it's down to you, my friend. We really need performances now. Won't be that many more chances for you, I'm sure. So he's got to keep scoring if he wants to hold down his place. So that'll be my team, guys. I think it's the same team that played against Newcastle. So it's Vicario in goal, the back 4 of Porro, Romero, Davis, and Udogie, with Basuma and Sarr in that double pivot, Brennan Johnson on the right, Kulusevski in the middle, Heung-min Son on the left, with your man Richie Richarlison up front. Now, if that is my team, guys, I am going to go with a 3-1 win to Tottenham. I don't think we're going to have it all our own way. But I think as the game goes on, I think we're going to get more and more on the ball and start dictating things. And yeah, I think, it could even be 3-2, to be honest. I do expect there to be goals, but I just hope that we've got enough just to only concede 1. But I think going back the other way, we should have too much for them. If Johnson is on it, which I hope he will be against his old club, and we see the best of Kulu and Sonny, I don't think that they'll be able to live with us, to be honest. So I'm going for a 3-1 victory. Guys, what do you think the score's going to be? Do let me know in the comments. Are you happy with my lineup? Would you be playing Sonny through the middle and Richie out left, or would you be sticking with what I've gone for? What about Giovanni Lo Celso? Should he feel hard done by that after a few good performances, he's out of the team again? I'm not really quite sure if I can really find a spot for Lo Celso in that starting 11. I certainly, wouldn't want to put him in the double pivot. I just don't. Unless he went with Son through the middle and then played Lo Celso out wide. But then, I don't particularly think Lo Celso suited to that left-hand side role, and I don't want to be moving Johnson over into that left and putting Lo Celso on the right. So, for me, guys, that's the best lineup I think that we're going to go with. And look, it's a must win, guys. It really is a must win. We need to start chalking off these games with wins now, particularly to avenge the results. That horrid run that we went on without a win. We need to start. Draws aren't enough either. We need to get back to winning ways and follow up the Newcastle game with a win. Otherwise, it just won't be a good result. And also, going into the Everton game, they look like they're flying at the moment. So that's not going to be an easy one either. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll be putting out my post-matcher probably late on Friday night after the Forest game. Let's hope I'll be doing that following a Tottenham win at the City Grounds. As always, stay safe, subscribe to the channel, do like this video, and as always, guys, come on you Spurs.